Hi everyone, I made it to Mass today and fortunately I was not late. Some days I get up like just in time and I'm there, and sometimes I'm a few minutes late, but today I was early, so that was good. And the readings today were very beautiful, as they always are, the good news for us Christians. In the first reading we had the imagery of the word being spoken over dry bones and those bones gaining life, and it's the analogy of the hope of the people of God losing hope, and how God calls us back and he plants us into his soil so that that hope is revived, because there's this feeling of loss of hope that has reached the people. And in the psalm we had this imagery of God's love endures forever. And in the New Testament, the gospel, we had this Jesus being tested, like they want to unsettle him, so they're coming to ask him these questions, as they always do. It's like, who do you think you are? You came here from that small little town. So they're trying to unsettle him, and Jesus responds in a way that there's nothing really that they can say. He tells them to love God and to love the neighbor, and in that all the laws and all the commands are fulfilled. So I think there's a message of hope there. Of course, we all need good people around us. We need people who will strengthen us, who will help us. We need people who, when we are looking for work, they are going to send us work in line with our education and our experience. When I was working at BMO, I was working at the consultant level. So I was working with the senior management and reporting into the C-suite. So basically we were closing AML gaps. And what did people do when I lost my job? They sent me jobs to go pack boxes at FedEx or do the heavy lifting of the parcels. It was completely insulting for me, completely insulting. But I just said, you know what, Lord, I can't do that kind of work. And I can't stand on my feet the whole day anymore. So please help me, open a good job for me. And then I got my job in the call center by going out every day, by going to job fairs, by talking to people, by putting posts on social media. I got that job, and I was fortunate. I got to work at home. And yes, my health has suffered because of the abuse and because of the way the customers treated us. And some of them were very vulgar, and some of them were using us like we were there for sex work. They think that we're uneducated people, we can't get anything else. That's why we're working in the call center. When it's not. The reality is that many of us who are there are master's graduates. We hold BComs, we hold education not only from this country, but from the countries where we were born. That might be South Africa, it might be Zimbabwe, it might be Nigeria, it might be India. But we're not stupid, uneducated people, and we're not sex workers. And some people, their families are very lucky. They had all the support, especially from my uncles and my aunts, to lift them up, to speak well of them, to tell people how good they are. They're concert pianists, they sing in the church, they know how to do ballroom dancing. And for us, what are we? Oh, who do we think we are? We're stupid. We grew up without our dad. We can't accomplish anything. Think we can go to university? Especially me. Who do I think I am? And who do I think I'm talking to? I just say, you know what? If you don't want to say anything good about me, don't say anything at all. And I've told them directly now, because I'm tired of it. And I'm tired of them saying my uncle comes down on me and this and that, my godfather. If I have a problem with my godfather, I tell him directly. I say, I don't like this, what you're doing. I am your brother's daughter, me. You should be putting me first, not people who grew up with both their parents. Now I tell him. And if he doesn't like it, I don't really care. Because it is out of my love for him that I'm telling him. I'm telling him the right way. And if he doesn't want to listen, that's also not my problem. As long as I know that I told him. Just like I tell my mother, I want to come, I want to see my sister, my brother-in-law, I want them to come here and visit me. And she's like, no, they invited who they want. I said to her, then don't come. If they're not going to come visit me, you also don't come and visit me. Because all this nonsense that's going on, accusing me of being fixated and obsessed with the family, people not being there for me when I need them, and leaving me to cope by myself, all this is nonsense. And if I hear Anita crying again on the phone on the other side, I'm going to give you people hell. I told her. I said, I'll kill you. And she's like, no. I said to her, yes. I said, if my sister needs help, she'll come to me. There's no need for relatives to get involved. There's no need for Auntie Delisa's sister's family to get involved. We don't need them. We're not like them, and they are not like us. And she's like, no, you didn't do anything wrong. I said, I know I didn't do anything wrong, but the fact is I got hauled to the police station. I got put through hell. I had to take a minimum wage job. So now I don't want to know anything. I said, you send me the money now, because you people were all happy when I lost my job. So now you have to send me money to help me to pay my rent, to help me to get food, to help me to get transportation. She still hasn't sent it. So I called all my uncles, I called my aunt, I left messages for them to say, every time I phone her, if I'm employed and happy, she's crying. When I'm unemployed, then she says all my prayers were answered. If my mother needs to get some counseling or some mental health support, she needs to do that instead of all this rubbish and drama being taken out on me. Because I don't care if some person that I worked for has children, because our family is suffering. And it's time that our family put our family first, not those people who have 3 children or 4 children and they're on their own. That's not my problem. They got both their parents. They've got parents with big homes that they can move in with if things go wrong. When I came to this country, I lived with my sister. I didn't go and live with relatives. I didn't go and live with friends. I lived with my sister. So in the same way, if something goes wrong, if something happens, my brother-in-law already told me, you will never be turned out onto the street. He said, I will find a place for you to stay. So I don't care if my Aunt Elise tells me go on welfare or speaks evil like that over me, because I am not obviously loved by them the way I want to be loved. And those words should never have been spoken over me. They just should not. And if it was done to unsettle me or because somebody has a dry sense of humor, it's inappropriate. It's very inappropriate. And if I get a job in banking, in investment banking, I will go back into it. Because I will do a good job there. Whether it's in a management job like I had before as a consultant, or whether it's in an executive assistant role or some other role, their lives have got nothing to do with me. I keep in touch with them once in a blue moon, and I've made it very clear to everybody now that if my sister needs help, if she needs support, she will come to me, because she does. If she needs the support, she comes to me. Because this is nonsense what people are doing to me, including my mother. I told them I want to know where she's living. They just start crying. I said, oh, send me her address. They just start crying. I said, why? Why did you people let the police think that was true? We never had any problems. Then she said, they don't even talk to you. I said, yes, they do talk to me. When I see them, they talk to me. So I'm tired of all this nonsense. And I'm tired of all this, it's nonsense. And you can take that message of Jesus about how like people forget what God has done for them when the hard times come. Become like dry bones. And God always takes us back and he says, here's my word, read it, feed on it. And we always get people who try to unsettle us, like that person in the Bible story. So which is the law? Which is the one I should obey? But they know full well what they should be doing, but they don't want to do it. So, and it's not, I don't care about, it's not as simple as pulling yourself up by your bootstraps. Their lives have got nothing to do with me. They don't come visit me, they don't phone me, they don't, when I'm sick, I look after myself. So nobody should be trying to take me away from my immediate family and break those bonds and those relationships. Because at the end of the day, they will look, Auntie Delisa's family will look after their own. They'll make sure they get the top jobs. They'll make sure they get the accolades. And Auntie Delise will support them. She'll never say that about me, that, she grew up in Africa without her dad and she's done very well and she's capable and she can hold a job and she's a concert pianist and she was tutored. She had to work hard to get her grades, but she graduated. I told him, I said, from now on, those are the words I want to hear coming from you people. I'm tired of you putting me down, saying we don't think you can manage, you need to get some support, you need to go on drugs. For who? To make you feel better? To accept a report that is completely delusional? For what? I'm glad Credit Suisse closed because of what they did to me and to my family. I'm happy because they deserved it. That is God's justice. And Wits is holding that symposium again on the crimes that are taking place with the international journalists. And it's good because the more of us that speak up and stand up to it, the better life will become for all of us. And that's love in action. It's not saying, it's not as simple as pulling yourself up by your own bootstraps. I told my mother, I know you like that kind of Indian docileness. I don't like it. And I never grew up that way. And you should remember how you were in Zimbabwe. You should remember how confident you were and how strong you were and how we lived alone in that house surrounded by the bush and we were never afraid. I told her because she needs to stop listening to all these other people around her and remember who we are and that we're Alex's children, nobody else's. So today I thought I would do this poem. It's again from a book of blessings, Benedictus by John O'Donoghue, and it's for a mother-to-be. Nothing could have prepared your heart to open like this. From beyond the skies and the stars, this echo arrived inside you and started to pulse with life. Each beat a tiny act of growth, transversing all our ancient shapes on its way home to itself. Once it began, you were no longer your own. A new, more courageous you offering itself in a new way to a presence you can sense, but you have not seen or known. It has made you feel alone in a way you never knew before. Everyone else sees only from the outside what you feel and feed with every fiber of your being. Never have you traveled further inward where words and thoughts become half light, unable to reach the fund of brightness, strengthening inside the night of your womb. Like some primeval moon, your soul brightens the tides of essence that flow to your child. You know your life has changed forever. For in all the days and years to come, distance will never be able to cut you off from the one you now carry for 9 months under your heart. May you be blessed with quiet confidence that destiny will guide you and mind you. May the emerging spirit of your child imbibe encouragement and joy from the continuous music of your heart, so that it can grow with ease, expectant of wonder and welcome when its form is fully filled, and it makes its journey out to see you and settle at last, relieved and glad in your arms. It's a lovely blessing for a mother to be. I don't always read perfectly, but I try to correct myself when I make mistakes.